Okay, so today we're going to be looking at some really fascinating insights about relationships from the amazing Esther Perel.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
And we've got some excerpts from her conversation with Jay Shetty
Okay, cool.
on his podcast. And
I love Jay Shetty.
yeah, me too.
It's going to be interesting to hear what she has to say.
Yeah, and this is going to change how you view conflict and connection.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right.
So Esther Perel, she's
like the queen of relationships.
I know, right?
She's amazing.
She really is.
What I find so fascinating about her is she kind of flips the script on arguments.
Oh, yeah. How so?
You know how we always get so caught up in the what of it?
Right.
Like whose turn it is to do the dishes or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Or like, who is right or wrong.
Exactly.
In an argument.
Yeah. And Pearl says we need to shift our focus to the why. Like, what are we actually fighting for underneath all of that?
I like that.
You know? It's like that classic battle over the dishes.
Yeah, totally.
It's not really about dirty plates, is it?
No.
I mean, who really wants to fight about that?
Right.
There's got to be something more going on.
Exactly. It often comes down to these deeper needs.
Okay.
Like feeling valued, respected, heard. Maybe one person feels like their contributions aren't appreciated.
Right.
While the other is just trying to maintain order in the chaos. Like both are valid.
Yeah.
But understanding those underlying needs, I think it can really transform the whole dynamic.
It's like they're speaking different languages, but about the same thing.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And she talks about this concept of accountability.
Oh, yeah.
Which honestly kind of blew my mind a little bit.
What is that?
It's not about changing your partner. It's about changing yourself.
Whoa. Okay.
I know, right?
Interesting.
It seems counterintuitive, but she says it's incredibly powerful.
Well, because
I guess
relationships, they're like this intricate dance, of interdependence.
Right.
So even small shifts in your own approach can really create a ripple effect, influence how your partner responds. It's like you change the music.
Yeah.
And then you see how your partner adjusts their steps.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
So, yeah, you might be surprised to learn that the most effective way to improve your relationship isn't to change your partner, but to change yourself.
It's true.
Because even small shifts in your approach can ripple outwards and influence your partner's response.
Exactly.
And speaking of shifting perspectives, Perel's idea of the grief of choice really struck a chord with me.
Oh, yes. That one got me thinking, too.
You familiar with that one?
I've heard her talk about it before.
Yeah.
But maybe just remind us, for those who might not be familiar with her work.
Oh, yes, sure.
What is the grief of choice?
Well, it's like this. It speaks to the inherent loss that comes with every decision we make.
Oh, wow.
Whether you choose to stay in a relationship or leave, you're essentially grieving the path.
Right.
Not taken.
Right.
What could have been.
Oh,
it's like standing at a fork in the road.
Yeah.
Knowing that whichever path you choose, you're leaving something behind.
That's deep.
Right.
It really is.
And it makes you realize that even good choices come with a touch of sadness.
Right.
And that acknowledging that sadness can actually be healing.
I like that.
Yeah. And sometimes breakups can feel like an addiction.
Oh, yeah.
With intense longing and rumination.
Totally.
Have you ever felt that way?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think most of us have been there at some point.
Yeah.
It's like you can't stop replaying those memories over and over in your head.
There's actually a neurological basis for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The same brain centers involved in addiction are activated during heartbreak.
Ah.
So it makes sense that withdrawal can feel so intense.
Yeah.
Because in a way, that's exactly what's happening.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening to this. And they're realizing, okay, maybe my relationship needs some work.
Yeah.
But, surface level fixes aren't cutting it.
Right.
What can they actually do?
Well, Perel emphasizes the power of curiosity.
Okay.
And not just about your partner, but about yourself as well.
Oh, interesting.
It's about asking those deeper questions. Like, why do certain things trigger me?
Right.
What's their story?
Yeah.
We often fall into this trap of assuming our partner's flaws are just personality quirks.
Yeah.
While ours are simply situational, which Perel calls the fundamental attribution error.
Right.
Cultivating curiosity helps us break free from that biased thinking.
So it's like we're detectives in our own relationship, trying to piece together the clues instead of jumping to conclusions.
That's a great way to put it.
And speaking of clues, Jay Shetty shared this hilarious anecdote about dishwashing with his wife.
I love that story.
I know, it's so relatable.
It's so funny.
Apparently, their conflicts stemmed from the different operating systems they'd learned growing up in their families.
Yeah, totally. It's such a perfect example of how we project our own operating systems onto our partners, expecting them to function.
Right.
Exactly the way we do.
Yeah.
It's like trying to run Windows software on a Mac.
It's not going to work.
It's just not going to work.
No.
And it leads to all sorts of clashes.
Right.
Because we're speaking different languages, even when we think we're on the same page.
Totally.
So instead of battling over whose system is right, Perel suggests co-creating new operating systems as a couple.
Okay.
This allows you to build a shared foundation.
Got ya.
Instead of constantly butting heads over individual preferences.
I like that.
Right.
It's like building a custom operating system that works for both of you.
Exactly.
With features you both love and can understand.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about those situations where you try to initiate these deep conversations?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your partner just shuts down completely.
Oh,
it's like talking to a brick wall.
I've been there.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
So Perel cautions against forcing vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that never ends well.
No, it doesn't.
It just leads to more frustration and resentment.
Exactly.
So how do you approach those delicate conversations without triggering that defensive mode?
Well, you got to get creative.
Yeah.
Perel suggests finding indirect ways to open up those emotional pathways.
Okay.
Like watching movies together, listening to music, playing games, or engaging in shared activities you both enjoy.
So it's about creating a shared experience that can spark those deeper conversations organically rather than forcing it.
It's like planting seeds and letting them grow naturally.
I love that.
Instead of yanking on the sprouts to make them grow faster.
Such a good analogy.
Yeah.
And Perel also talks about this tendency we have.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
To kind of top our partner's struggles.
Oh, yeah.
To make it a competition of who has it worse.
Oh, gosh. I'm so guilty of that.
I know, me too.
It's like this automatic response.
It is.
But it's not helpful at all.
No, not at all.
She even shares this personal anecdote.
Oh, yeah.
About being called out for her agitated phone call behavior.
Yeah.
And it turned out her partner just needed support.
Right.
Not a competition of whose day was more stressful.
It's a good reminder to step back and check ourselves.
It is.
You know, to see if we're minimizing our partner's experience because we're so focused on our own.
Yeah.
Sometimes just listening and offering a hug is more powerful than any words.
Absolutely.
And that's so much more supportive and connecting than trying to one-up each other's stress levels.
Yeah.
So instead of just apologizing for our stress, we can acknowledge how our partner's presence allows us to handle those responsibilities in the first place.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to shift the focus from your own needs to the value of the relationship itself.
Yeah.
Expressing gratitude for that support can be incredibly powerful.
Now let's dive into a particularly tough topic.
Okay.
Rebuilding trust after betrayal.
Oh, wow.
Specifically infidelity.
Oh,
Is it even possible to come back from something like that?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, Perel believes it is possible.
Okay.
Though she acknowledges that it's a long and difficult journey.
Right.
And she outlines several stages that couples need to go through if they're going to have a chance at healing.
So it's not just about saying, I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
And hoping everything goes back to normal.
Not at all.
Okay.
The first stage is about genuine remorse. The person who broke the trust needs to fully acknowledge the pain they caused.
So it's about truly understanding the impact of their actions.
Yeah.
Not just saying the words.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then comes the vigilante phase.
The what?
The vigilante phase.
Okay.
Which sounds a little intense.
Yeah.
But it basically means the person who strayed actively demonstrates their commitment to protecting the relationship.
Right.
It's about actions speaking louder than words.
Okay.
This could mean being proactively transparent instead of waiting to be questioned.
So it's about showing through consistent action that they're willing to rebuild that trust.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
The next stage is meaning making, where both partners delve into the why behind the betrayal.
So this is where things can get really complex.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
But understanding the individual and relational narratives is crucial for healing.
It's like trying to understand the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Rather than just focusing on the symptoms.
Exactly.
And finally, if the couple chooses to stay together, they need to define a new vision for their relationship.
Right.
So it's about creating a new roadmap.
Yeah.
Taking into account everything they've learned through this painful experience.
Right. The affair, while incredibly painful, can actually be a turning point.
Okay.
The end of one chapter or the beginning of a new one.
It's in the relationship. It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly.
But with a lot more wisdom and intention this time around.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of heartbreak, there's potential for growth and transformation.
Okay.
Now, shifting gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's explore what Perel has to say about modern dating.
Right.
You know, with technology changing the landscape so rapidly.
Right.
It's no wonder so many people are feeling lost and disillusioned.
It's like the dating rule book got thrown out the window.
Totally.
And we're all trying to figure out the new rules of the game.
Exactly.
Perel talks about this frenzy of romantic consumerism.
Okay.
We're caught in where the pursuit of perfection leaves us perpetually dissatisfied.
Yeah.
Even with perfectly good partners.
It's like we're swiping through potential partners like we're shopping for the latest gadget.
Yeah.
Always on the lookout for the next best thing.
Right.
But isn't there more to love than just checking off boxes on a list?
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
This constant comparison game, it only fuels self-doubt.
Right.
Leaving us feeling inadequate.
Yeah.
Because we're bombarded with these unrealistic expectations.
It's true.
She even points out how we're trying to find a soulmate on an app.
Oh, wow.
Which is such an interesting clash between spirituality and technology.
It's like we're looking for this profound, soulful connection.
Yeah.
In a space that's designed for quick judgments
Right.
and superficial interactions.
It highlights our deep longing for connection.
Okay.
But it also reveals how we're trying to shortcut the process.
Yeah. Seeking instant gratification instead of allowing those deeper connections to develop organically.
And then there's the whole phenomenon of ghosting.
Oh, yeah.
Which has become so prevalent in the digital age.
Ugh. It's the worst.
I know.
It's more than just rejection. It's this complete lack of closure, leaving people feeling incredibly devalued.
It's like being erased without a trace.
Yeah.
And it can be incredibly painful.
Perel draw to this fascinating parallel between ghosting and the still face experiment.
What's that?
Used in psychology.
Okay.
Imagine a baby whose mother suddenly becomes completely unresponsive.
Oh, wow.
The baby panics, desperately seeking connection.
Oh, gosh.
This experiment highlights our primal need for responsiveness.
Right.
A need that ghosting completely disregards.
That's a powerful analogy.
It is.
It makes you realize that ghosting isn't just about bad manners.
Yeah.
It's actually violating a fundamental human need for connection.
The connection, exactly.
So how do we break free from this detached consumerist approach to dating and create space for genuine connection?
Well, Perel's advice is refreshingly simple.
Go ahead.
Get offline.
Okay.
Engage in shared activities.
Right.
Observe how potential partners interact with others. It's about allowing connections to unfold organically.
Okay.
Rather than relying on algorithms and checklists.
So it's about creating opportunities for real-life interactions.
Yeah.
Where we can see beyond the perfectly curated profiles.
Right.
And get a sense of who someone truly is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She also encourages us to differentiate between the kind of chemistry that sparks a passionate love story versus the qualities that sustain a life story.
Because that initial spark might be exciting, but it doesn't necessarily translate into long-term compatibility.
Right. It's like fireworks.
Yeah.
Beautiful and intense, but fleeting.
Exactly.
A life story requires different ingredients.
Okay.
Shared values, mutual respect.
Yeah.
A willingness to navigate challenges together.
It's the kind of connection that grows over time.
Yes.
Through shared experiences and deepening intimacy.
Exactly. Look for genuine curiosity. And a desire for more.
Okay.
Not just that initial burst of passion.
It's like building a fire slowly and carefully.
Yes.
So that it can provide warmth and light for years to come.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
And for those who find themselves feeling like they're settling
with
a kind, safe partner.
Yeah.
Perel sees this as a red flag.
Okay.
A sign that we've bought into the illusion of perfection.
Right.
And are overlooking the qualities that truly matter.
It's like we've become so fixated on finding the perfect partner.
Yeah.
That we've lost sight of what it actually means to connect with another human being on a deeper level.
So true. Remember Jay Shetty sharing how he's come to appreciate the challenges his wife presents?
Yeah.
Because her influence helps him grow in ways he wouldn't have on his own.
I loved that part.
It was so refreshing.
To hear him talk about how his wife keeps him grounded and challenges him to be his best self, that speaks volumes about the transformative power of a healthy relationship.
Right.
It's not always comfortable,
yeah,
but it can be incredibly enriching because it allows us to become more whole, more integrated versions of ourselves.
And that brings us back to Perel's point about our modern obsession with identity.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're so focused on protecting our egos that we resist influence even when it comes from a place of love.
It's like we've built these walls around ourselves, afraid to let anyone in because we might have to change to grow.
It's true.
Even the language we use reveals this fear.
Okay.
Pushover, giving in.
Right.
As if influence is a sign of weakness.
But what if it's actually a strength?
Ooh, I like that.
You know?
Yeah.
A way of opening ourselves up to new perspectives and possibilities.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
What if instead of resisting influence,
we embraced it as an opportunity for growth and connection?
I love that it reminds me of the poem Jay Shetty mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
The one about building a home together in a relationship.
Yes.
Where instead of demanding that our partner move into our existing home or us moving into theirs, we take the best bricks from both structures and create something new, something uniquely ours.
Such a beautiful metaphor.
It is.
For the co-creative process of a healthy relationship.
It's not about one person imposing their will on the other.
Right.
But about blending your worlds to create something even better than what you could have built alone.
It's about recognizing that both partners have something valuable to contribute.
Yes.
And that the magic happens when you combine those elements in a way that honors both individuals and the relationship itself.
Exactly. It reminds me of Perel's idea of unified agreements.
Oh, yeah.
These aren't about rigid rules or contracts, but shared understandings that emerge from open communication.
Okay.
And a genuine willingness to blend your worlds.
So it's about creating a shared vision for the relationship.
Yes.
A roadmap that guides you both towards a destination you've chosen together.
This deep dive has given us so much to think about.
It really has.
What resonated most with you from Perel's insights? It's like we're all walking around with these invisible backpacks filled with our experiences, hopes, fears. And, you know, when we take the time to peek inside each other's backpacks, we discover this whole universe of shared humanity.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. It makes me want to approach every interaction as an opportunity to learn something new. To expand my understanding of the world and the people in it.
I think that's a wonderful takeaway from this deep dive.
It really is.
You know, we've explored so many layers of relationships.
Oh, yeah.
From the challenges of conflict and betrayal to the nuances of modern dating. But it all kind of boils down to this: relationships are a journey, not a destination.
It's about embracing the messiness, the imperfections, and recognizing that true connection comes from a willingness to grow and evolve alongside another imperfect human being.
Exactly. And that journey requires us to cultivate curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to step outside of our own limited perspectives.
It's about remembering that even in the midst of conflict, there's always an opportunity to learn to connect, to create something new and beautiful together.
Speaking of creating something new, remember Perel's suggestion to approach long-term relationships with a bit more creativity?
Yes, especially in today's world, where couples are expected to fulfill so many roles that used to be shared by a wider community.
Exactly. It's like we're putting all our eggs in one basket, expecting our partners to be our best friend, confidant, lover, co-parent.
It's a lot of pressure.
Everything in between. It's no wonder so many relationships feel strained under that kind of pressure.
It's true.
We need to find ways to build support networks beyond the couple itself.
Okay.
To create villages where both partners can thrive.
I like that.
Individually and collectively.
So it's about recognizing that a healthy relationship isn't about two halves making a whole, but about two whole individuals coming together to create something even greater than the sum of their parts.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
It's about celebrating each other's strengths, supporting each other's growth, and allowing space for individual expression within the context of a shared journey.
This deep dive has given us so much to reflect on.
It really has.
I'm curious, what's one key takeaway that our listener can walk away with today?
If I had to choose one, it would be this: cultivate curiosity. Curiosity about yourself, your partner, and the dynamics at play in your relationships. Curiosity is the key, to unlocking deeper understanding, fostering empathy, and creating space for growth and connection.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a simple yet profound reminder.
It is.
That the most fulfilling relationships are built on a foundation of curiosity, compassion, and a shared desire to learn and grow together.
Absolutely.
It's been an absolute pleasure unpacking these insightful ideas with you today.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to our listener, we hope this deep dive has sparked some new insights and inspired you to approach your relationships with a renewed sense of intention. Curiosity and a willingness to embrace the beautiful complexities of human connection.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.
Thanks, everyone.